Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And it seems that Netflix is really hitting the child level of degeneracy here, as always. And it seems that they just don't wanting to stop doing stuff like this to kids. Because, it wasn't like the past controversy or anything where they developed cuties, which is bar minimum probably worse than this, obviously. But still, it's kind of showing their colors. We have this. From Business Insider, cocomelon is one of the most popular things on Netflix. Kids watch more than 6 million hours. Netflix has just released a whole bunch of data about how many hours people watch its titles. I shouldn't help but notice a familiar title in the top 100 most watched shows, cocomelon Season 1 at number 61. I was shocked mainly to discover that cocomelon, a generally plot-free collection of animated nursery rhymes for babies and toddlers that started as YouTube videos, has seasons. But it turns out that there are actually 6 of them on Netflix. Let's say you combine the watch time of all 6 seasons, which seems fair since it's hard to argue that any 2-year-old is clamoring to wait for the newest season to follow up on the cliffhangers presented in the Wheels on the Bus. Combined, cocomelon Season 1 through 6 was watched on Netflix for 601 million hours in the first half of 2023 alone. So, it says, it goes on with this, that's more than all the 4 seasons of Stranger Things combined that were watched during the same time period. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. Now, if you guys think this is just a harmless kids show, well, unfortunately, it's not. It's pretty kind of odd and depraved in a way. So, we have this from End Wokeness. It says, the new cocomelon Lane on Netflix has a boy in a dress dance for his 2 gay dads. cocomelon is the most popular show for babies and toddlers ages 2+. We're going to go over and kind of see exactly what this is here because it explains a lot of things that's going on with Netflix and why I'm concerned.
About you love to get up and dance.
How about you break out those moves?
For your 2 biggest fans. If you're not sure what to choose, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Just be me?
Yep.
When you're trying to...
Enough of that. I can't stand to watch anymore. But yeah, it seems like this is a thing that is ongoing here with Netflix, where they're trying to push indoctrination onto other people. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with, making certain stuff or whatever, but when it's obvious that you're putting an indoctrination thing or whatever onto your site, and that's kind of the issue, because the whole part of this culture war is the fact that the far left want to have kids being dressed in whatever, get these surgeries because it costs a lot of money and the medical community actually think it's very relevant to do so, and it has a remarkable negative effect on kids in general because usually later in life it changes, but it's like okay, well, if it changes, it doesn't matter. Well, the problem is that the damage is already done and they already have a lot of other mental issues that are coming up after you force them to do this type of stuff. And it's kind of sad and disappointing to see. Now, we have this here from cocomelon is in trouble, and we have, it's been a bad year for kids TV. First, Disney announced it was cutting costs after losing almost $400 million in 2023, and now the studio behind one of the most popular children's shows has reportedly fallen on hard times. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, cocomelon was the world's second most viewed YouTube channel. It also broke records on Netflix, remaining in the streamer's top 10 list for 62 days, the first show to ever do so. Everything claims that the cartoon caused behavioral issues and speech delays didn't deter parents, but in 2023, cocomelon is cutting back. So, yeah, this is kind of like the issue that I have with all this, right? That this is the problem that we're having with this show. I think a lot of social media in general is very toxic towards majority of people, even adults. So this is not really too crazy. But another thing is a lot of parents are not aware of what's on Netflix, and they need to be aware of what is on Netflix. And the only reason why some parents knew about cuties was because, well, obviously that spoke a huge debate or huge debate, for lots of controversy, and a lot of parents didn't like that, and as shown, Netflix lost billions of dollars. And again, when I see it's when you keep supporting places or platforms like Netflix, you get this type of result. So I don't know why people don't understand on to stop doing and supporting companies like this if you want, a non-messed up society. Moonbug Entertainment, the studio responsible for cocomelon, as well as hits Bleepy and Arpo, has experienced a huge surge in growth in recent years, largely due to the runaway success of its flagship show. The musical animation teaches preschooler letters, numbers, and more, set to traditional nursery rhymes and original tunes. However, Moonbug is undergoing a restructuring, which includes employee layoffs and scaling back production. Although the company hasn't confirmed the number of staff cuts, the London-based studio laid off a shade under 30 people, roughly 5% of its payroll, in October, according to Bloomberg. This report included the majority of the cartoon's writing and design team, such as story editor Alan Denton and staff writers Nabel Arkshad and Claire Peters. Newsweek has reached out to Moonbug Entertainment for comment via email. Moonbug previously canceled a number of shows, including Buster the School Bus, T-Rex Ranch, and Lilo B City Farm, to focus on cocomelon and Bleepy. And I wonder why. It's probably so they can make this so they can indoctrinate more kids and make society obviously worse. Again, I don't have a problem with this type of stuff. It's not being directed or trying to indoctrinate children, but this is a constant thing. The establishment, the far left, are constantly going after children, and they even said much as so as, that they're coming after our children. And so Moonbug claimed this was a strategic measure as opposed to a cost-cutting exercise, but also began creating episodes with fewer props, characters, and backdrops to boost output while lowering expenses. However, staff reportedly then had to spend a significant amount of time fixing errors on these budget episodes, canceling out any money saved. According to Bloomberg, reportedly voiced frustration at the increased workload, with Moonbug reducing the number of episodes in 2024, along with decreasing production of its spin-off shows. The company purportedly told employees it would be experimenting with AI and other new technology in its storytelling. We've decided to make a little less content, Andy Yeatman, head of Moonbug's Los Angeles team, to the publication, which makes a lot of sense on where it's coming from. It's coming from LA, probably one of the most far left sanctums or sanctuaries probably in the country. It's up to debate whether New York or Portland is, ahead of that list. Moonbug will still be investing in cocomelon, but will also be focusing on new areas, such as music and video games. Despite the cuts, Moonbug CEO Renee Catchman said the business is incredibly well positioned for the future, with its YouTube viewership rising 12% in 2024. So we have that here. Now we have this. Jesus. No, don't want that. And we have Netflix show under fire after boy dances in dress for his two dads. Pundits on the right are upset over a new episode of Cocomelon Lane, a popular children's show on Netflix. The show, which is quickly becoming one of the more popular children's shows available on streaming services, to have crossed a line with conservative parents and talking heads. Netflix announced an expansion of its preschool show offerings this year, including the debut of Cocomelon Lane, which premiered on November 17th. Cocomelon Lane, produced by Moonbug Entertainment, will be the first dialogue-driven series in the Cocomelon franchise featuring new storylines and songs. The show aims to explore developmental milestones and everyday experiences through its select characters. In the episode in question, a boy dances around in the room in a dress for his two gay dads, who tell him to just be himself. The boy struggles with choosing whether to put on clothes typical for boys or girls, and he chooses a tiara and a tululu. Or in a tutu. A tululu. My God. So, yeah. That's what we're having here. And of course, Netflix, we all know about the Netflix cuties thing, which this whole entire thing right here, this whole section here, is disturbing to me. This part here does not make me feel very comfortable with this type of stuff, and it makes very uncomfortable and walking reality. So yeah, this is the issue that I have here with this. And here's the thing. I don't care. When it comes to stuff like this, is that people are thinking, oh, well, you have a problem with two gay dads or two mothers or what have you. Well, besides, we're going to talk about the lesbian part of it all, where that issue is, particularly, there seems to be a lot of domestic abuse in the lesbian home, but we're going to ignore that for now, right? I don't necessarily have a problem with lesbians, gay people, what have you, having to have a child. This is not really my problem, because normally, in most instances, is that there hasn't been a statistic that has come out to where two dads or two mothers are an issue in the home. So there's that. There hasn't been really any statistics showing that there was an issue. I don't have a problem with gay parents or what have you raising children. What I do have a problem with is when it is obviously an agenda push, because they're going to have two gay dads, which is obviously a far left talking thing, and then you're going to have a kid that's dancing in a tutu, so that's within like female clothes. That's my problem, and that's where you see the agenda here. It's one thing if it's like, if you maybe even you want to say that the two gay dads and it just happens to be a kid and he's just doing whatever, okay. But that's not really the case here. You can obviously tell there is agenda or some type of narrative being pushed, and that's my problem. I don't want narratives being forced upon children because it's not helpful. It actually harms them in the long run, and people want to ignore this reality. So, yeah, that's kind of my issue here. Alright guys, that's it. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.